Hello, everybody. So, this is a really fun video I'm going to be doing for all of you. So, what I want you to do is, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit subscribe. It really does help me out over here. So, what we're going to be talking about today is how I coach agents how to build out their commission structure. Now, we won't talk about exact numbers, okay? So, you could build this out for your business model however you think it works best for you. So I'm going to go take you through some of the step by step things that I used to offer and what made my plans and my choices that I would give my sellers when I'm going in for a listing presentation, what would make them unique. Okay. So I always had three packages. And now what you'll see is I didn't name them anything really fun, flashy, because this is what I'm telling you basically what they're going to be. Really, the truth of the matter is most people actually are going to land here. So this is going to be your most popular, okay, as far as the package that you're going to most likely have people choose. It's just going to be that. So the two that you're probably not going to have a lot of people fall into, but you should be prepared and ready to have them go into that, is going to be the premium or the lowest price one. Okay. And there's a couple of things that I like to tell you about how I coach agents on how to design this, how to do this, and how to make this work. So, the first thing is I find that a lot of agents tend to have way too many bullet points and it's way too detailed. It needs to be really simple. Okay. It needs to be really simple. And one thing that I used to like doing when I was doing all of these was I like to basically give a scenario, right? Like, what kind of person would be doing this? Okay. So, think of it this way: the lowest price one, least amount of work, it's priced perfect. Okay. And it'll sell in a day. Okay. It's perfect. It'll sell in the day. I really just need you to slap it onto the MLS. And guess what? They might even say to you, hey, we don't need you to do much work. And we want to take advantage of the fact that there's probably not going to be a lot of work that needs to be done here. They might opt to get, different photos. And what I used to do is I used to have an a la carte thing on the side where I would just basically, have a menu right here. And I would say, hey, if you do, photos, we could do them a la carte for, you know, $400. And then you could price it all out. And then I would do, Matterport. Okay. If you're doing that, I would say that's a $600 thing. I would do different things and I would test it all out with my audience and what flows best with me and my personality. So I had a la carte on the side, and I would say, here's this one, and maybe I would say to you it's at X%. And then, hey, it doesn't include photos, but if you wanted to do the lowest bare bones thing and you wanted to have photos for another $400, we could just tack that on, or for another however much it is. So what happens is you could actually kind of have a real simple baseline. You don't want to overwhelm them. That's why I like to keep it really nice and simple, because I've seen a lot where there's too many words, there's too much stuff going on in regards to the actual wording of what the bullet points are. It really should be very minimal. And I always like doing the scenario where I say, hey, it's price perfect, it'll sell in a day, I don't really need much to do there. So guess what? You could basically say to them, if there's not much work, then I shouldn't be getting paid the same as if I need to do a lot of work. So there should be a price to value relationship there. Okay. So if we're doing that, then guess what? That is going to be the lowest price, and you decide what that commission is going to be. The next one, the middle of the pack, this is the one that I would say is the standard for you. This should be your, hey, we include the photos in this one, we include the Matterport. And again, you have to work out the pricing. Now, if you want me to schedule a session with you, do a coaching, and actually go through pricing and talking to you about these things and have a soundboard, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to send you over a coaching link and we could get that started up for you. Now, when it comes to the middle of the pack, again, this is probably going to be the one that's going to be the most common. And this is one where, house is okay, priced, to sell, but might take a little longer than a day. meaning you're going to probably include Matterport in that, photos, things like that, that might not be included in the other one, where what happens is this. You need to show it in the best of light because, again, the house is okay. It's not perfect. It's okay. And this is, again, going to probably be your plain Jane, your stuff that you're going to come across, where it might be a step up mover, a step up, seller, going into a larger home. So it's going to be something that, again, I would say is your bread and butter, okay, as far as what you're probably going to likely see. Then, where the unique thing comes in, okay, is in the premium, okay? So basically it's going to include all the other things. This is one where you want to get the most bang for your buck, okay? Now, here's what I included in this, and I actually got this from several large brokerages that tried a similar model. I had a contractor that I would pay, probably quarterly, a flat fee, because I knew what kind of business I was bringing in. I knew that there was some consistency to my business, and I would pay them quarterly on a retainer that I would have. This was the agreement I had with them. It's something similar to this. I would be able to have 4 houses per quarter. Okay. And I would pay them a retainer of something like, we agreed, like, $1,000. So basically, guess what? They would get $1,000 whether I had X number of listings, whether I had this. It was a situation where I was allotted 4 houses per quarter, that for that $1,000. Okay, and that didn't include materials. And I would have up to, I think it was like something like $2,000 retail that I could offer them. And here was the thing. Typically what happened was, when I got a listing at the premium with the contractor involved, there would be, like, maybe they wanted the spackling done, maybe they wanted a room repainted, maybe they wanted a couple things done. I would basically say, hey, we're going to include up to $2,000. So here's the thing: I'm getting a value because I'm only paying like $500 a house, right? And it's a situation where I'm using one trusted contractor. And also, typically what happened was, we then got additional work for the contractor because it was something that usually came out to maybe like $2,500 or $3,000. And in those situations, what happened was, I would charge a premium for this. So this would be basically like 1 or 2 percentage points above my regular one. And here was the thing that I always did with all of my sellers: I required a minimum. Okay, I required a minimum for the time as which we would have the listing. Okay, the premium one, I always had that. And something that I would do is, I always stood by, if the home didn't sell. Okay, if the home didn't sell, okay, then what happened was, they kept the work. If it was painting, if it was spackling, whatever the case may be, they got to enjoy that. And it didn't cost me a ton. And it was something that I always worked with my contractor as well, because that was something that, we had a good relationship. Now, again, I'm giving you some of my hard numbers, but you could tweak this, you could work with this, you could find the contractor that you've been referring, that you have really good relationship with. Maybe someone in your family, someone that you work with, actually has a situation where, guess what? You might have someone who might be able to do this for you a lot cheaper than, going out there and just basically finding a third party vendor who's going to do the handyman work. But it's something that it allowed me to make more money if the sellers chose that. And I stood out. I stood out because other agents weren't doing that, weren't saying, yeah, we're going to bring the house up to snuff, make sure that it's showing properly. Maybe I included a stager, maybe I included different things. So that's all stuff that you can include depending on the scope of what you do and what you cover. But what I will tell you is, you need to just hammer out what each model is going to be, what the pricing is going to be, and what makes sense for you. But what a lot of agents don't do is, they don't do the premium one, because they stop at, like, this is like bare bones minimum. This is like a little lower than what they're shooting for. And then what happens is, they shoot for this as their normal, as their thing that they're going to do. And then there's no way for you to make, take whatever you think is the normal commission for your business and add on 1 or 2% to it. That is going to be like, wow, okay, that's really expensive, but you're you're getting a certain amount of work in there, whether it sells, whether it doesn't sell. So what happens is you are giving the seller an upside and saying, hey, we're going to make the house. So like you might not have money to do these repairs and do some regular, maintenance on this. We're going to cover that for you. We're going to take care of that, but what happens is you're going to pay us a little more at closing, because what we anticipate is in that is that the home is going to sell for more than what it would normally sell for if you chose one of the other two options. So what happens is it's a situation where we want to share in that extra money that we're going to be bringing to it, right? So the thing is, you have to hammer this out yourself. And as far as designing and all that stuff, listen, this is a three panel, boom, 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 jobber in Canva. Like there's probably 1,000 ones that you could do, but really, I say cut out a lot of the fat with the wording. Also, make it so that use this wording that I have for you here. Price perfect, it'll sell in a day. Boom. Yeah, simple. And guess what? If that's the case and you're not doing a lot of work, take less. House is okay, price to sell, but might take a little longer than a day. Okay. That's the best way to describe that. And then the premium is, hey, we want to make this house show it its best, give it the best possible opportunity, and basically get ourselves to a point where we're going to get some extra money that we might not normally have if we didn't take the steps to spruce up the home, do some handiwork, stuff like that. So I hope this helped you out as far as kind of a little bit of framework to how I used to do this. And again, you could really tweak this and use this as a springboard for a lot of different things that you might think work in your real estate business. And what I'll tell you is, if you have questions or you want to like really take a deeper dive into this, what I would say we could do is just comment below. I'd be more than happy to send you a link, in regards to, doing a coaching session where we could absolutely hammer out the finer details of this, and you could use me as a soundboard. If you have questions too, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to help you out. I hope this helped. Have a great one, everybody. I'll see you real soon.